right? So there's Elizabeth, all right, right? So we've got Elizabeth, right? You like that? You like that photo, right? We got that. Hampden County Triad is a cooperative agreement, right? It's in our community to help better serve and protect our elders, which is super important. Again, Elizabeth, myself, and Andrea. Now, in case you're not familiar, right? So I was telling you that I'm the business development director for the whole campus. The campus is 23 acres right here. Hi, Jill, come on in. We'll have you introduce yourself in a second. Hang on, come on, grab a lunch and have a seat. 23 acres right here on Converse Street, which you really can't tell because we're kind of hidden and we're kind of back against the woods, like this place. You can't see this place from the road. So we've got not only the Ruth's House Assisted Living, we've got Levitt Family Jewish Home, which is next there, which is our nursing home skilled level. We've got the Sawson Center for Rehabilitation. What's not on there is most recently on June 1st, Northeast Rehab, which used to be located in Agawam, right, on another campus, has relocated to our campus. So they are no longer located in Agawam. They are solely now in Longmeadow, which we are really happy to have them here. Wernick Adult Day Health, one of the first adult day health programs in our area, as well as Spectrum Home Care, Home Health and Hospice, which is also one of the first home health divisions, VNA services in this area. And then Genesis Independent Living is also here. And then if we go real quick, the Levitt Family Home, 24 hours, right? Long-term care, secure neighborhoods. We have 2 secure neighborhoods for our exit seeking residents. Audra, come on in. We've got the Sawson Center. If you've never seen the Sawson Center, it is a greenhouse model of care. Does anybody know what that means? I say greenhouse and they're like, is there plants? Right? There's no, right? It's nobody really knows. So it's a small house model, which it's very home-like. So when you're there, if you look, I mean, basically the table they're sitting at is a Pottery Barn table, right? It's not institutional. It's very home-like. The pendant lights behind the quartz countertop. It doesn't feel like a hospital or an institution. It feels like home. You walk in, there's a big stone fireplace. There's a porch to the left. It's beautiful. It looks like a home. So we have 2 homes of 12 right next door. Yep. Very excited about that. And then of course we've got Northeast. I don't know if I have Northeast on here. Northeast is orthopedic specialty. It also does cardiac, pulmonary, as well as respiratory therapy. So we're very lucky to have them on campus as well. Wernick Adult Day Health. This is in case, you're living with somebody, say mom and dad live with you, but you're going to work and you want to keep them occupied during the day. You could actually have them go to our Adult Day Health program. We have transportation to and from that can be arranged, covered by insurances as well as Medicaid or private pay. So yeah.
I actually referred someone to you to Wernick last week.
Oh.
I don't know how far will the transportation go.
I want to say it's about 8 miles, 8 to 10 miles. I think 10 is the max. So I think we say 8, and then I think we could stretch it to 10. Yeah, no, I think we could actually, I think that's okay. Yep. We've got Spectrum Home Health and Hospice. Of course, this goes to you and whether you're, at home in the community or on a campus. So independent living or assisted living, even if it's on a campus, is still considered your home. So they could go to the community as well as, so we are located here, assisted living, and we have up into and including end of life hospice care. So you could actually, this could be your last final resting place. You could come here and you could age in place to such a point where you could actually get on hospice, and then your family knows that you're here, you're safe. If you need rehab, you can go next door. If you need hospice, or if you go to the hospital and break a hip, come back, need rehab, you've got Spectrum. I mean, there's so many things. It's really kind of like one-stop shopping, which is really, the only thing we don't have is home care. Who does home care? Actually, right? So Jill, and we'll have her introduce herself in a minute. Actually, Audra, you also do home care, right? That's the only thing we don't have. So we need partners like these guys. And then we don't dictate who comes in, even VNA service. If somebody actually has another VNA service that they use and needed to come in, we just, we have them come in. It doesn't matter. We partner with anybody. And then we've got, of course, Genesis Independent Living. As beautiful as they are on the outside, you saw them. They were on the right-hand side when you drove in. They are that beautiful on the inside. They're perfect. They're actually subsidized even if you needed it. And that's why they're full. And there's a 3-year wait list. because I told my sister, put your name on the wait list now. She's moving from New Hampshire. That's like, do it now. Yeah. And then of course, Ruth's house. We'll give you a tour later. Of course, right now, the waterfall out back, which is usually running and beautiful, is being shut down because of the weather. And we don't want it to freeze, so we're trying to drain it. So unfortunately, you don't get the flowing water like you see in the picture, but nonetheless, absolutely beautiful. All right, so, and then we'll do Q&A after, but this is, save the date, November 16th, right? This is Jamie Beebe right here. Reborns with Reasons is what it's called. And that is going to be very interesting to find out, because when people first look at it, they're like, you're treating them like babies, like the elders, you're treating them like babies. I don't understand. This seems more like a daycare. No, let us explain to you what is so important about touch and need and the feeling to give. Yeah, it's excellent. All right, so I am going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to quickly have, Jill just took a bite. Oh, Audra, okay, nope. I'm going to just quickly have them introduce themselves because you're a little bit late in coming, but why don't you say hello?
Yeah, I apologize for being late. My name's Jill, and I've been working in home care for well over a decade. I recently joined a company called Excelsior Homes out of Springfield. So it is home care. We are taking in home care. So somebody says I need skilled nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy for my parents. We can do that. Currently, we're accepting Medicare, Cigna, and the VA, but the other insurances are to come. So Excelsior Homes, and I'm Jill. I have some cards in my phone. Thank you, Mary.
Perfect. Audra.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Audra from Comfort Keepers. We do private home care, and we also have safety equipment options. We do have the VA contract in both states, so we accept VA long-term care insurance and private pay. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I just want to check online. What can you see? Somebody's got to unmute for me. Can you see Hampden County Sheriff Department Triad?
No, I do not see that.
All right, hold on. I gotta go. I gotta do this. I gotta come here, and then I have to go share screen. And then now I have to go here. All right. Sorry, I never worked with two different
Now we see it.
PowerPoints. Okay, perfect. I am gonna leave this up to you, and you can introduce yourself and then tell a little bit about what you do and why you're here.
Great, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Deputy DePaula, Elizabeth DePaula from the Hampden County Sheriff's Department. I've been with the Sheriff's Department for about 16 years. I've been behind the wall working with the male incarcerated population. I did that for about 12 years. Then I transferred over to the women, did casework for about 8 years and over there as well. And then I transferred to work with the women for a couple of years. And then we're almost 2 years ago, almost 2 years, I was called into the sheriff's office and he asked me, well, first he told me, Elizabeth, you know, our senior population doesn't get enough attention. They're forgotten about. They're not getting the services they need. I don't want the seniors in our community in Hampden County to think that their sheriff doesn't support them. I need you to go out. I want you to establish a triad in Hampden County and get out there and do your good work. And I said, anything you want, Sheriff, you got it. I walked out of his office and I went, what is a triad? And I knew I needed to do my due diligence. So I hopped online and I looked around to, I did my searches online to try to find out what is a triad. And all I could find were Asian gangs. And I went, that is not what he wants. That is not what my sheriff wants in Hampden County. Let me keep my research going. And lo and behold, I found there is a national organization of triads through the Sheriff's Association. I think this is what he's looking for. So I, again, continued with my due diligence, and I reached out to some of the local triads that are within Massachusetts that have active running, because not all sheriff's departments have active ones. So I found a couple that were active in Massachusetts, and I drove out to Middlesex County, and I drove out to Bristol County, and I talked to their representatives, the people who run their triads. And I found out what do you do? How do you get started? What do you got going on? So I stole a few ideas, and I came back here and started building and building. And so of course, this happened all during COVID. So reaching out to people was very difficult, reaching out to the councils on aging and everything to find out, hey, what does your local community need? How can we help you? Was difficult, but I managed to pull it off. Went back to the sheriff and said, Sheriff, this is what I want to do. Gave him my mock brochure, and he was like, he read through it. He's like, I love it. Make it happen. I said, okay, what's my budget? Okay, that was the end of that conversation. So, lo and behold, the sheriff's department has a lot of resources. A lot of the community doesn't realize just how many resources we have and what we have to offer. So I put this brochure together, and I think we can.
Oh, tell me. Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
just tell me.
I usually have a.
Oh, I know. I don't,
Yeah,
I'm your
yeah.
thing. So
So I
just,
did
yeah,
it myself. So this is an older presentation that I did. so you can see
tell me.
that.
Yep.
So the basics of what is a triad. So in my studying and learning and putting it all together, it's a cooperative agreement between law enforcement, senior services, and the aging people in the community, working together to reduce victimization, to provide services, and to support existing services, to increase and support the livelihood and independent living of the community. And that's what we want to do. So we partnership with local law enforcement and are able to serve all 23 cities and towns within Hamden County. Needless to say, my work is never done. I am in all 23 cities and towns. I do my community outreach everywhere. So anyone that wants me to come in and do a talk like this, I'll go out. I'll drive out to Chester. I'll drive out to wherever they need me. We can go to the next
Okay.
slide. So again, like I said, we're reducing criminal activity that targets the senior community. So these are some of our goals. Provide education and services to build confidence and improve the quality of life for seniors in our community. Enhance trust and safety with law enforcement with seniors by ensuring access to services. So even if they're not services I provide, I might know a resource that is providing that service, and I can connect them with that resource. And also alleviate the fear of victimization among seniors. So we know that a lot of times people, they gotta love the generation. They love to talk. They love to welcome people and chat. And then sometimes they end up being taken advantage of. So we want to give them the tools to make sure that they stay protected from that victimization. So we do that as well. So to start off, we have the current triad projects that I have ongoing. Everyone was given.
So there wasn't enough for everybody. So there are the top one, that Hampton County Life Files. Actually, there's some on the tables. If anybody wants more, just, oh, you have more. Okay, perfect. So let me see. And yeah, so who doesn't have one? You guys have, you have one? There's another one there. How about you guys? You have it? You have it, right? Jim? Actually, you guys will read it, yeah.
So the sheriff's department actually has a graphics department, which is really great. We do a lot of work for the community. It's kind of a business too, like they run a business out of there, which is fine too. But one of the things that I asked for, one of the initial things I asked for were the Hampden County Life Files. So you might have heard of like a Files of Life. I just rebranded it and made my own because I buy them. No, because I don't have much of a budget. So we're not, we have to utilize the resources we have. So I didn't like the Files of Life cards because it just seemed long and it's more like an intake for a hospital. So it wanted your insurance information in there. I'm a first responder. I'm a trained first responder. If I go into your home to take care of you, I don't need to know what your insurance information is. I need to know what your medications are. I need to know how to take care of you the best way. I need to know what your allergies are and your chronic illnesses are. I want to know who to contact, because if you're so stressed out about going to the hospital that you don't want to take that hospital ride because your pets aren't going to be taken care of, I want to know who I can contact to alleviate that stress from you, so you'll go to the hospital. So I added all these different things into these cards. I will say that they are useless if you do not fill them out. A lot of times, I talk to paramedics that are in the field and they say, yeah, they had it on the fridge, but it was blank, so they couldn't do anything with it. So please fill it out. This is for you to keep, take home.
Each person in the house.
Each person in the house. So if you need additional ones, I can certainly get them to you. My phone number is on the back. All you have to do is reach out to me and I can send some your way. I'm also happy to drop some off here at the center or any local senior center that you go to. I can certainly bring them over there and drop the stack off there as well. So like I said, if you fill it out, it has lots of great information. It comes in a magnetic sleeve. You just put it on your refrigerator at home. Our first responders are trained to look for this. So if you fall and you hit your head, if you have a stroke, you cannot communicate in any way, shape, or form to tell them what medications you've taken, what doses you're on. It's all here, and they know to look for it. So that's one great tool that we can have handy in case of emergencies.
I love that. I saw that. I see them, right? But you don't actually think to grab them. But I grabbed two for myself and my husband. You know, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You're never too young either.
Right.
Right. I mean, something could still happen, even though I'm, you know, I think I'm young and vibrant.
You're always on the field.
That's right. Some days are worse than others, but
So that's one great, it says 1,500 so far. I'm pretty sure we're up into the 3,000 by now, that I've distributed, probably around maybe even 5,000 at this point. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers of how many I've ordered and distributed. But it's a great tool. The next great tool we have is the Are You OK program. This is new and up and coming. I put a database together to help I had our IS&T department put a database together for our telephone callers. This is a daily reassurance program that checks on the well-being of seniors who live alone. So kind of, even if you don't live alone, but like, let's say you live with your kids and you're, but they like to travel and they're gone for 3 weeks and you're alone for that 3 weeks, we can put you in the program. So it's great. And it's what it is. It's just a daily call. We call you every day. Just, hey, how are you? Great. Oh, you're doing well. Great. Talk to you tomorrow. And the purpose in that is, well, we had a lady who, when we were talking about putting this program together, we had a lady who had actually gotten out of her car, drove into her garage, closed the door behind her, and got out of her car, with one of those electric car opener things, gets out of her car and falls. And she tripped getting out of her car and broke her hip. So she couldn't get up off her garage floor. Well, no one checked on her for days. So for 2 days, she spent trying to pull herself over to the garage door, grabbed brake or something on that she could reach and started banging until the neighbor's lawn care guy, I guess, who was taking care of their lawn, heard the banging and went over and checked to see what was going on and found her in her garage, and she had been there for about 2 days. So we want to avoid these types of situations. Nobody wants 2 or 3 days on the floor unable to get help. And I know some people have those life alerts where they push the button, but if you hit your head and if you pass out, you're not going to be able to push that button.
Yeah.
My grandmother had one and she fell and forgot she was wearing it. You're not going to push the button. So even though that's a great tool, and I would never say, oh, don't have one, they can be expensive and they might not work. So this at least, if you don't pick up that call, you know, we call you at a certain time. If you don't pick up that call, we're sending somebody to check on you. So we'll actually call your local PD. We'll call your emergency contact first. If they're not local or they're not available, we'll send the PD over to check on you. We recommend, though, if you're in the program, that not only do you have a lockbox in your house, and you can sometimes get those through the councils on aging, will provide them, but that you provide us with that information, that you have that lockbox on your house. So that's super important, and that you have a life file on your fridge. We do have a HIPAA form that you can fill out and give us your medical information so we can communicate that to the first responders. But honestly, the life file is a lot easier to have available.
Excellent.
And that is a 7-day-a-week program. Weekends, holidays, we still call you. We have people on staff that will call. Also, if for emergency responders who, like your police, your fire, your EMS, in an effort to find you, if they get called to your house, it's really great if you have a house number that they can see. All too many times, especially, I don't know if anyone was out in rural Chester, but I was just out there the other day, trying to flag a house to put a house number up. And so I'm following the GPS because I don't live in Chester. I'm not familiar with the area. So I'm following the GPS or like when I came here today, the GPS took us to the service entrance.
The back of Ruth's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not close. I was trying to figure that one out. When I went up, when I was in Chester, it took me, I was on the right road. It was like a main road, Route 20. And it took me to take a right up this other road, come back around and the house is like over here. Nowhere near the home. You
Yeah.
couldn't even see the home from this road, but it was
Yeah.
up a dirt road. I couldn't even imagine a fire truck having to go up there thinking they're going in the right direction and have to turn around and come back. And I know in a lot of these towns, they'll go like, oh, everybody knows me. The local TV knows me. I'm like, well, that's great for the people who've been on staff for the last 20 years, but what happens when they have new staff? What happens when new people come on board and they don't know the area?
Right.
The new police chief was actually from Blandford. I don't know if she's the police chief anymore, but she was. She took over Chester. So she grew up in Blandford, was the police chief in Blandford, and they asked her to do Chester too. So she had both counties. And I mean, both towns. And she didn't know anywhere in Chester. So people would tell her, oh yeah, just go past the old, the Smith's house and the big oak tree. And she's like, what? I don't know how to get there. So it's important that we have those house numbers up. They're reflective. We make them in our graphics department. It's awesome for us. They actually make them on reflective paper. We send them over to our PI. They put the state together, and then I send it out to a work crew, not an inmate work crew. I'll just emphasize that it is a staff work crew that goes out and actually installs the house numbers. That program is going to be ending for the season because the ground is freezing, so we won't be trying to stake things into a frozen ground. But to supplement that, we have the Sand for Seniors program, which we drop off a bucket of sand to everybody's home. And this increases safety during the winter because they can just spread it and get that ice off the ground. So a lot of times, we have trouble lifting and carrying those big heavy buckets of sand. So we'll drop one off at your house. You don't have to worry about going to get it. And we work with the local HWs to get that. And we actually we get the buckets donated to us, and once the buckets are empty, you can give us a call and we'll swap them out with a new bucket. And we deliver those. Last year, we did about 260 last year alone. So it's just increasing, and that was our first year doing it. So doing really good with that. Next one.
Yep.
One of my favorite programs is I got certified last year as a certified home safety assessor. So through Age Safe America, so I can actually go to your home. I assess the outside and inside of your home for fall risks to help you age safely at home. So what I do is when I pull up to the house, the first thing I look for is your house number there. If not, I get a little note of that. I assess the lighting and the smoothness and ease of walking up your driveway. Is there cracks? Are there things that need to be repaired? I look at the lighting. Is there enough adequate lighting for you to see where you're walking up to the walkway? Is the railings in the front of your house down the stairs? Do they go from the top of the stairwell to the landing, or are they on both sides? I look at everything. When you go inside, is there a mat in front of your door that is tacked down that you could easily slip and fall on? Different things that people don't tend to look at as they age. You set your house up and you're in that house for 20, 30 years, and then your body changes, things change, and you don't always pay attention to those things around your house that they've just been there forever. It's the way it is. So we kind of make those modifications and adjustments to in and around the home. So what I'll do is after I do my assessment, I'll complete a report for you. It usually takes me about an hour and a half to do an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the size of the house, to do a full report. And then to do the full assessment, and then I'll give you a report with all the different modifications that I would recommend you make. And I itemize it by room, little check boxes. You can literally simple to read, easy. Just you go down each room and you can just check off as you make changes and adjustments. But this is one of those things to increase your safety in and around your home, to reduce that risk of falling, and hopefully age safely there. Then we have local speaker series. So I do things like this, where I come out and I talk to people and I tell you about all the great programs we have. But we do a lot more than just tell you about the programs we have. I'll go out and I'll pair up with Deshaun Brown, who's the Massachusetts State Trooper, police trooper who covers this area. He does the outreach in this area for seniors, or the local police department of whatever area I'm going to. And we talk about, scams, identity theft. We'll talk about the importance of laughter. We have lots of great different talks. Sometimes we'll do like a lunch and learn series where it's like just coffee with a cop, and you get to like ask us questions about whatever's bothering you in the community, or questions that you have about different things related to law enforcement, and we can help you kind of navigate. So that's that. And then some future programs I'm looking at doing is the YES program, Youth Empowering Seniors. So this is pairing up the senior community with people from our seniors in high school, and helping them learn how to use technology. So as we have advances in technology, a lot of people who, I didn't grow up with a computer in my house. I probably was a teenager before we got like a home computer. And the way things have changed and technology has changed, cell phones, how to utilize them effectively, how to use Zoom calls so you can talk to your family who lives in another state, and do all these different
How you
things.
can do a lunch and learn with people in Boston attending your lunch and learn.
Exactly. So you get all these like great tools and
Yeah.
resources, but a lot of people, they just don't know how to use them. Even I get fumbled up sometimes. I'm calling my son. I'm like, hey,
Right.
help me out here. Get them to kind of navigate it, show us how to do things. So as technology grows and changes, we can learn how to do those things. So that's hopefully a future project that I'm collaborating a little bit with some of the schools to see if we can pull that off. Grab and goes. Emergency displacement preparation. So teaching people to put a bag together and what to have in that. So if they're ever displaced from their home, for emergency evacuation, if they had a fire in their home or something, that they can just grab it and go. I had a fire in my house a couple of years ago, actually right after I was told I was going to be doing this. I ended up having a home. I bought a house. I sold my house, bought a house. We had a house fire. So I bought it in October. We had a house fire in December. I was displaced for 8 months living in a hotel in Chicopee. So it was, I say it was a blessing because there's a lot of good things came of it, but devastating. You're standing outside your home, like, I don't know what to do. I got my cat, my dog, and my son, and we're all standing there like, now what? And I had nothing. And so eventually, once everything was okay, the fire department allowed me to go in and grab some things, but we couldn't stay there. I had, so I had to, of course, grab what I could grab really quick. If I had been prepared, I would have had a bag ready to go. I would have been, oh no, I know exactly where to grab it, grab and go, and we would have had everything we needed. So different things, and the list of different things that you should have in that bag. So that's another thing I'm looking at doing in the future. Then we have the electronic search and rescue program. This is an amazing program, and I love this program. It is in its pilot phase right now. We are moving forward with it. Serving the citizens with cognitive conditions such as Alzheimer's, autism, Down syndrome, and any other cognitive condition that may cause them to wander or become lost. We have 40 staff members currently trained to do electronic searches. And what it is the person, the client in the program would wear a electronic radio frequency bracelet, either on their wrist or ankle. And we chose radio frequency because you don't lose the signal. Like GPS, you can, you're following a GPS and all of a sudden you're out of satellite range and you have no signal anymore, and we don't want that. So we have radio frequency. You can get the reading through brick. It can get it in underwater. If they climb something in the sky, we'll know. Even we could almost identify what floor they're on. That's how accurate it is. So it actually reduces your time frame of trying to find someone, because somebody with a cognitive condition isn't going to necessarily respond to you in the same way that a missing person that doesn't have that condition would respond. They might not. You could call out their name. They might not respond to you. You could, or even young children, if they run off and they get lost, they might hide. These kids aren't looking to be found. They're scared. They might just hide from you. So with this, we can actually get it's close to them. It will get louder and louder and louder the closer we get. So it's great technology. We are, like I said, we're in the pilot phase of this program, so we're hopefully going to be moving that forward and bringing it up to the community really soon. So
That's amazing.
all the great stuff we have. I think
Oh.
ready for questions and answers. So if you have any questions about it, yes.
So you talked about the senior home safety assessment. So if you went into somebody's home and they're low income and whatever it is, guard meals on the thing, whatever, are the resources to help them get that, or?
So currently we don't provide it. There's some legalities that I'm running into with that. And the reason for that is I can't recommend somebody, you know what I mean? I'm not allowed to endorse someone, so to speak, because of our public entity, and I work for the department. So we are limited in what we can do.
Probably the
so I
local
am-
ASAPs, right? You could refer to the local ASAPs. The Aging Service Access Point for seniors,
Yes.
like Greater Springfield Senior Services,
Yes.
West Mass Elder Care. Okay.
Yes. So I can point you in the right direction.
Mhm.
But I can't specifically say, oh, this is a good contractor, I trust this person. Like I'm not allowed to do that.
And your senior center, your local senior center might have recommendations. Your outreach coordinator might be able to help you with that as
Right.
well.
So I would kind of guide you that way,
Yeah.
and you can coordinate with them with what you can do
Mhm.
and where you would fall in that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it is a question that does come up a lot, so it is important. And it is something that I am in talking with the department about to see how, like hearing, hey, you need all these different things. But I can't provide any, so.
You'd
it is
have to
something
go
I'm
out for
working with.
bid. You'd have to actually,
Yeah, we
yeah,
have to-
somebody would have to apply. Yeah, it would be a
There's
conflict
bidding
for them, but
contracts,
yeah.
Things like that,
yeah,
that go into a whole
yeah.
nother, that's in a whole nother realm
Yeah.
of complicated.
Right.
Above my pay grade kind of thing, so
Yeah.
we're, like I said, I am talking with the department to see what we can do, if anything, about how we can add to this service. So right now, I can, at the very least, I can let you know what needs to be done. And then I can point you in the direction to connect with ways to find out how to get that done. That's where I'm at with that. So, great question.
So where are you located?
I'm just asking in general.
So like, yeah,
Yeah, it's a
so
great
like
question.
Greater Springfield Senior Services would be great to reach out to if you're in the local Springfield area. West Mass Elder Care is like the Holyoke, Belchertown, Granby area. So there's different ASAPs as an access service, an aging service access point for seniors. Could never say it right. And then, or your local senior center, you could guide somebody, maybe if you knew anybody. Yeah.
Right, so I would kind of put you in those directions, and they could help you take to the next step.
I have a question.
Oh, hang on one second. Go ahead. So it's aging service access point for seniors. And I have to spell, isn't that
Right.
terrible? I have
I
to
was
spell
like-
it out. Yeah,
That's an
ASAP,
organization?
Aging Service Access Point for Senior.
And that's an organization.
they're a type of an organization. The actual organization, like our local ASAP, would be the Greater Springfield Senior Services, which is Springfield based. Somebody that lives out in Belchertown, Granby, that area is going to be West Mass Elder Care. And then there's one in Franklin, and then there's one in the Berkshires. Yeah. All right, and I think, was it Elaine? Did you have a question?
Yes, I'm asking, who is eligible for Sands for Seniors?
Anyone in Hampden County.
Is there an age limit? What does your program start at for age?
Seniors, define senior.
Yeah.
Careful.
And where do we,
You tell me you qualify, guess what? You qualify. I have not, I'm not gonna tell somebody to, you know, and the great thing about that program too is it's not just necessarily for a senior, but if you're not able to lift a heavy bucket of sand, it will
Right.
help you. It's
Right,
not
so
like,
that, yeah,
I mean, if you're just, maybe you just don't physically have the ability to do it, it will help you. So it's not, I don't, like I said, I don't discriminate. I'm just like, yeah, not like, you.
it's a service.
don't
It's,
quite
you're helping.
know."
Yeah, yeah.
I would never ask.
We
you
don't
for
have to show an AARP card.
Not only do you not have to prove your age to me, I will never ask you for money either. So there's.
and in going along that question, the weather is beginning to change and we're looking down the road for sand. Who would a senior such as me contact for this Sand for Seniors? Who would I contact?
Yeah, so unfortunately, you're not here, so I don't have
So-
the brochure for you, but we can
Yeah.
hold up the number here. It's 413-858-0060. That is my office line.
Got it.
You got it? Okay,
You
perfect.
can go ahead and contact me and I'll get you on our list.
Thank
What-
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine.
I have
Any-
a question.
Oh, go ahead, Nicole.
Hi. I have a question about the electronic search program. Will that be a free service? Will the bracelets be provided and will there be a charge?
So I can kind of answer that. So right now, we are looking at, I'll give you the basic information. The program runs through Project Lifesaver International, which is a nonprofit organization based out of Virginia. That's where we get all our equipment and training from. The bracelets, what you buy for the bracelet is the transmitter, and that is $300. However, my sheriff is adamant that he would love to be able to provide this service to everyone in Hampden County. We have gotten a $10,000 grant to start our program through the Sheriff's Association.
Fabulous.
We are moving forward with the hope and expectation that we will continue to get grant money and be able to do fundraising to supply it to everyone in Hampden County. I just can't answer that definitely yet. We might have to do it at some point, do a sliding scale depending on your income or something like that. But if, as it stands now, if we have 3 people in the program that are helping us pilot the program, and we are not asking for a dime from any of them. Every other month, we have to come and change the battery and bands. We do that on our staff does that, so they'll get paid through the Sheriff's Department as part of their job. So there's no worry about that. But it's only like $10 every other month. So that's totally, it ultimately is totally affordable. But as I said, we don't want to put that $300 burden on anyone.
Right.
Or, so we're, like I said, like I said, it's in the pilot phases, so I don't have a totally solid answer to that. However, we are moving forward with the hope and expectation that we will be able to provide it to anyone in Hampden County that needs it.
Any idea when that may launch?
I would love to give you more of a solid answer on that, but this comes back to our training and with our staff and being able to work through that process. And I don't want to give you false hope. So I'm gonna say soon, but not not soon enough because we already wish we already had this program up and running. So it's been a long time. We've been building it for about 3 years now, and we're at a point where actually putting bracelets on people and getting through that pilot phase of process. So we are close. I'm hoping at some point within the next year, we're full-fledged and up and we can start just adding people to the program. Our fear is that if we grow too fast, we're not going to have the funds to be able to fund everybody. We're not going to have the resources to be able to do what we need to do effectively. So slow growing with it. But it is coming and it's very exciting.
That is really exciting.
Liz, can I ask you a question about that? So if you have to go and change the band and the battery every other month, do I assume that the band is something that's not easily removable?
It is not.
Okay, that's good.
So they are vinyl. They are hard to remove. If depending on the dexterity of the person wearing it, could they cut it off? Yes.
Okay.
We've had kids, and it's the integrity of it. We've had like, one kid about this saying it, and his cracked the plastic casing on the side. Doesn't happen too often, but yes, it can happen. What we tell the care provider is if something like that happens, call us immediately. It's an emergency. We will come fix it. We will come replace it. It's not something that happens too often, but yeah, she doesn't have the dexterity to cut it, but if she's slamming, she can break it. Or if someone older who doesn't want to wear it might try to cut it off. That's happened before. We do have leather ones that are much harder to cut off. But we can also put it on the ankle if it's bothering them, their wrist, or vice versa. So there are options there. They come in pretty colors. You can bedazzle them. They're not the most attractive things, but like I said, you can bedazzle them. You can put little things on them, put stickers on them, whatever. They come in different colors. So you have blue, red, green, purple, standard basic white, grays. So especially for the kids, that's really important. So we get that. We had one lady that we've been talking to. She was like, my mother dresses like she goes to a wedding out every day, so she wants to be able to match it. We're like, ooh. Well, maybe we can bedazzle it, and she can still.
She needs to come up with a sleeve. She needs to sew a little tiny sleeve for it to change colors.
Right. So hopefully we can make that work for her. Once we do have a little bit of a waiting list right now for people who are interested in getting into the program, but like I said, we're in that pilot phase right now, and until we can streamline our process. The hardest thing for our program right now is that, and it has always been, that we don't have a regional dispatch in this area. I don't know if you knew this, but if you call 911, they always ask you, what city of town are you in?
Mhm.
To tell you which department to go to. Well, we're all of Hamden County, so if you get calls from and you call from Holyoke, you're going to get a different dispatch than you're going to get from Belchertown. And so depending on where you are, you might be sent through a Hampshire County dispatch center. So because of that, it makes it a lot difficult for us to just work within Hamden County. So we have to work with the individual police departments and stuff. So all that communication and contact and getting everybody on the same page is very time consuming, which is why it's taking us so long to get out there. But it's exciting and it's moving forward. So I'm happy to be able to come out here and share that with you. Does anyone have any other questions? Yes.
Do you get involved in protective services cases? Like, does your team go out or no?
My team does not, but I can connect you with teams that do. So that's a little out of my realm. But I do have connections with people who deal with that.
Do you do wellness checks if needed?
Yes, I would.
I just
Usually
have a
we,
client that could use the wellness check.
would you like to be on our Are You Okay
Protective
program?
Services cases on this particular client, and there's never like a true safety, but no doctor doesn't take medication, doesn't bathe, we can't get her to do anything. And we two protective services cases, and they said it's her choice because she's alert and oriented.
But it's to the point where it's tough because we're trying to care for her and can't. So,
That's a tough one. So maybe we could talk after. I can try to connect you with the right people, because yeah, it's a little out of, it's out of my realm, but I'm closely associated with people I work with. I'm sure could help you. So I can connect you with some people after.
Yes.
Yes.
You mentioned speaker series.
Yes.
How does one get, it's not anything, how does one get to know? Okay. How often do they happen?
Call
and
me,
all that?
email me. We will work some
Okay.
whatever it is
All
that
right.
you want out, and we will talk about what you want to do, and we'll move forward.
Okay, because you
I'm-
mentioned like the scams and what have you, and that.
Yeah, it's such good information. So yes, absolutely. Just
Okay,
the easiest thing you can do is email me, because my email, even when I'm not home, or when I'm not in the office, it gets sent to me, so. Checking it. I'm working even when I'm not working, so. yeah,
Sounds like healthcare.
Yeah, exactly. So if you email me with.
Excuse me, could you repeat that question? Because I didn't hear the question.
So she was asking if, how to get in contact, if they wanted a speaker series, to talk about like frauds and scams and things like
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, just call me, anything. You call me, email me, and we'll make things happen.
thank you.
I'll actually put the number in the chat, you guys, for you, because you don't have
You
a,
can put my email in there as well.
all right, and I'll put her email in as well. Yes, I could do that. Yes.
Great.
Well, is there any other questions? What, yep, go ahead. Okay, yep, we could manage that, Audra. For the latecomers, oh, Jill might need one too, yeah. Are there any other questions?
Just curious.
Yes.
The triad program in other counties or just Camden?
Liz,
So, yes. So each
oh, yeah.
sheriff's department would be responsible for their county. So we're a county sheriff, so we have all of Camden County. I know Hampshire County has a very active one. Not sure who's running it right now. They have a very active one, or they did a few years ago. But not all counties have them. You'd have to like kind of reach out to your local area and see if your county has it. But if you're within Hampden County, I can say, yes, you do. You have one. And I know Hampshire County has one, Middlesex County has one, Bristol County has one. I'm not sure about everywhere. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to raise my hand because I actually live in the Berkshires. Berkshire County has one, but it's not as senior focused. It's more, I feel like, crime related. Is the way to say
Yes,
that.
so some of them are, and what I found traditionally when I was doing my research to establish one here is that we had one in the past, and basically all we did was go to meetings and talk about the crime aspect of it. But when I took over, I was like, no, I'm not just going to meetings. I'm too young for that. I need to do something. I want to be productive. I want to give back to the community, and so I kept hunting, and what I found, Hampshire County has a very good active one that does a lot for their community. So it really depends on where you are. Do your research and see what's in your area. But yes, so yeah, a lot of them do that. Now, that's across the country.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of them
think the
just-
services vary for sure. I'm very active out in the Berkshires, and it's nothing like what you spoke about today, which is amazing.
Great. Well, hopefully my influence will spread.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think everybody knows. Like I said, when I met you that day at the senior center and she was talking about it, I had no idea. So that's why it's like, hey,
Yeah,
got an
it's new, and
idea.
Like I said, I started it during COVID, so it was hard getting out there and getting people to know about what's going on. So now that everything's kind of opened back up and people are moving forward, with getting back out to the community and doing more social events, people are hearing about it and they're like, oh, this is great. They're having those community events again. So I'm starting to show up to them and they're like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Well, now you know. And I'm just gonna keep spreading the word because that's what I do. We don't do that outreach portion of it, so please tell your friends.
Yeah,
take,
take a couple extra brochures
take a
if you
couple
want.
extra brochures,
Yeah.
pass them around.
Mhm.
Feel free to reach out to me. I can send some your way as well.
Any other questions? All right, no other questions.